are you guys? I got Alex and Gabby here with me, and I really appreciate you guys joining me. And I just thought it was really important because you guys just finished, you just closed on your first home. Woo! Congratulations. So exciting. Yeah. So excited for you guys. But I thought that it was really good to be able to reach out to other first-time home buyers and kind of talk about your experience in a condensed form, what your expectations were kind of when you started this process and the journey, and how you ended up where you are, and how actually you did a little bit of this. So let's talk about that. First of all, what made you decide you were going to buy and jump into this market?
It was a crazy decision, but we were just tired of throwing money away basically into apartments. And we decided at the beginning of the year that we were going to start shopping mortgage companies and just really start working on building our savings account and working on our credit and, just getting our debt down. And
well, you said something, let me interrupt really quick, because you just said something that was important. You talked to a lender. So when you decided, hey, you started thinking, we're going to do this, you got a hold of a lender at that point?
That was our first step. Yeah. We
got, I think that's really important.
Lender, yeah. And we went and sat in his office for 2 hours and just went over everything. He sat with us and we went over all the numbers, talked about what we needed to do to get ourselves into a position. This is in January. This year. Yeah, this was in January of this year. And
this was with Craig?
This was with Craig, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we found out we weren't quite ready there, financially. But he told us exactly what we needed to do and exactly what targets we needed to hit. And so we went to work on that. And then a few months later, we, got back with him and got in touch with a realtor and kind of hit the ground running with it. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really important. And I think that was kudos to you guys for taking that first step, because I find that a lot of people, they have in the back of their mind, like, could I buy? No, I can't buy. Oh, I don't know, but they'd never take that initial step. Even if you're not ready right now, it's so imperative to talk to that lender, because like you said, Craig got you guys right on track where you're supposed to go, helped you do what you needed to do to make sure that you were ready. And by the way, we're talking about Craig Moore at Academy Mortgage, who did this first-time buyer program for you, helped you out, and I believe it's the Metro Down Payment Assistance Program. Is that correct? And why did you guys choose that program over, say, Chaffa? Do you know?
I don't remember the specifics. Gosh, like I said, we sat in there for 2 hours with him and we plugged in numbers with every possibility.
Yeah.
And that's just what, for our specific situation, financially and credit wise, that was what made the most sense for us as far as what the interest rate ended up being and things like that.
And I think the biggest difference too was, isn't the DPA, wasn't that the one where you get forgiven after 3 years or something? So I think that was the seller.
That was huge, yeah. And that's what I was just going to ask you, because there are, there's a few different programs out there. When I did talk with Craig, that one actually forgives that loan after 3 years if you stay in that house. So for 3 years, we're ready to move yet.
Another reason that we went with that program was because it was what we qualified for. There were some programs that we didn't qualify for.
Well, he did an awesome job regardless. What was, when you guys got in the market, I guess your expectations when you first went in, how were they after, say, a few weeks in the market?
I had none. So it was really overwhelming and scary, and especially being in Colorado, I had heard, that the market was hot and that houses were going off the market like crazy and everything was expensive. But then you actually go in and compete and put offers in that seem really nice and shiny to you, and then you get beat out so quickly. So I think that we had to grow some thick skin pretty quickly.
Yeah, and learn. And we were lucky enough to meet, and I was so so happy to have you guys call on a sign on a property that I had, even though you guys didn't get that particular house. I think you made out much better where you are. I think having everything done for you, turnkey ready. So what was kind of the highlight of the buying experience, would you say?
Of the buying experience itself? I mean, it's all, I enjoy all, especially the buying experience once you finally have your offer accepted. I kind of really enjoyed all of it because you learn a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like if you really get yourself involved with the inspection process and things like that. I felt that all that was very beneficial.
Yeah, I felt like, because you won't always be a perfect match for every realtor or every loan officer. And we had, dealt with a couple of each. We had met with a different loan officer before, and it wasn't a good fit for us, I don't think. And same thing with the realtor. So that was the highlight for me, when you finally feel like it's a good fit, because you're spending your life savings on this, and you're about to spend lots of years and grow your families in your home. And so I'm a very personal person, and so it has to be a good fit for me, because we're investing in a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think that goes both ways. So I'm glad that you guys felt that you finally found a fit. Now, are you happy where you ended up? And what are you feeling like now as actually you're sitting? I see that you're sitting in your dining room. How does that feel? I mean, it
feels great.
About to have your first Christmas. I know you have a Christmas tree up.
Yeah, we do. It all just, it all just feels like a great accomplishment, I guess. It was, we started talking about it seriously, I think a year ago, and we put our minds to it and put in a lot of hard work and a lot of time, and something good came out of it. So
yeah, makes it.
And we met our goal. So
it's a good feeling. And all of my clients at work were telling me, because it was a process, everything happens for a reason. You didn't get this house for a reason. And it's really hard to hear that sometimes in that moment, because obviously when you put an offer, you're picturing yourself in that home. And so it's a bit of a mental toll whenever your offer doesn't get accepted or you get beat out. But now being in our home, I 1000% agree and believe in that, because this is my favorite home that we put an offer on, and we got this one. So
yeah, and it's super hard. Again, when we met, the house that you put the offer in, that's hard. When you got to go, I someone else beat you out. It's a hard market out there, and I'm so glad that you guys stuck with it. What would you say is the best advice you could give another first-time home buyer?
Just don't. You're going to feel like giving up many times. I know for a fact that I did. We went through 5 to 6 months of a routine of getting off work at 5, going and looking at houses, putting in an offer Friday night or Saturday morning, and then
being stress-ridden all weekend.
And then finding out Sunday afternoon or Monday morning that you didn't get it, or that you were number 2.
Right.
We were number 2 quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and especially when it feels like you put your best foot forward, you gave your best shot. It can get kind of, you can feel defeated, but.
Do you feel? Let me ask you this, because you guys did work with a different agent prior. Do you feel that you learned some things going into it, like how to structure an offer? Because sometimes, an offer can be the same, really, at the end of the day, it's the same net to the seller, but did you find different ways to structure maybe an offer that made it more appealing to the seller?
We had to get real creative.
Yeah, I think we learned that like the dollar amount isn't the most important thing, in that it's more so
the comfort as a monthly payment type of thing.
Well, that, and then as far as what you bring to the table to the seller, your offer, like, you know, it's like we had that conversation, is like, well, you can offer, say the house is, you know, they're wanting 400, you can offer them 475, but if you don't come and back that offer with some reassurance financially, then it's kind of just empty.
Yeah, that was definitely a new thing.
Yeah.
I thought, well, if we come in with the hottest offer, why wouldn't they pick us? And you have to learn all of these tricks and trades, and it's a very tricky purchase because it's not just one number straightforward. There are all these other elements that go into your offer. And so my advice would be to educate yourself on that. And if you're not sure that if you don't think you're even ready to meet with the loan officer, something I learned after we met with Craig was they really advocated for meeting with a financial counselor and had all these resources that are free and all this stuff just to kind of learn before you jump in. Cause I feel like we totally jumped in head first and we knew nothing. So we had to learn.
Don't you feel though that by doing that though, you went for it? I mean, I feel like you can get paralysis by analysis. I'm the queen of that. And that's the one thing I want to say is, hey, you know, because we just did another Zoom call and recorded this about the cost and waiting. I mean, if you guys had to wait if you waited another 6 months,
that's a huge
it's going to cost you, you're at about $17,000 is what it would be costing you for that same property in 6 months. So that's the other thing too, is I want to stress is talk with that lender and just at least get the ball rolling, because I think a lot of people are in a better situation than they actually realize.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just moving things around. And the other thing too is, you know, with your credit, sometimes you shouldn't pay things off. Sometimes you should, sometimes you should. So that's really important to talk to a lender about that, because that can just affect your credit score. You know, you pay all this stuff off and all of a sudden you're in a worse situation than you were. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's a little confusing.
And that is, at first, I kind of, before we went and saw Craig, I kind of felt kind of stupid even going to have that meeting, because in my head, I didn't really feel like we were there.
Right.
But that meeting with him and finding out the opportunities that there were for us, that just one meeting last January showed me that we were close.
Yeah. And there are all these factors, like depending on what county you live in, if you live in the city or in a rural area, your household income, like there are all these different factors that could get you all different kinds of loans, assistant grants, things like that. And so you will probably never know what you qualify for until you do go talk to someone. Yeah. So yeah. And
another point on that is don't go by your Credit Karma score or any of that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, hey, I have this credit score. Well, that's different than your actual FICO.
That was me. I thought I had a great credit score, and I got a huge wake-up call when we met with Craig. But I'm glad we did it, because then I got on it really quickly and
what you need to do
to try and make it better. So it was not as good as I thought it was. So it was helpful to know that as soon as possible.
Well, guys, at the end of the day, again, I am so appreciative to you guys for taking the time, because I think it's important, again, for first-time home buyers to know that even though this is a tough market, there are some challenges. And again, we didn't even talk about the house that you went under contract with at one point before I was involved, and kind of the disaster there. But we'll leave that for another day. But I really do appreciate you guys, the fact that you are in a home, that I got a chance to meet you. You guys are a blessing, and congratulations. This is going to be a great 2021 for you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, but again, thanks guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for taking time with me.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. I'll be talking with you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.